Greetings. Welcome to Pumps on the Ground, broadcasting on NNV News. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad, your host. We have a great show for you tonight. But first, across the country, the coronavirus pandemic and the COVID-19 vaccine. In our Final Call newspaper, my story highlights that over 55% of New York's firefighters have joined the ranks of those who are refusing to take the vaccine. Over 55%, news is reporting, New York firefighters are not wanting to take the vaccine. The vaccine is not mandatory, but it is strongly encouraged. Among those frontline healthcare workers, the Final Call reports, who are not wanting to take the vaccine and they have rejected it, include 60% in Ohio nursing homes, as well as a great percentage of those in Los Angeles County, as well as Riverside County. In Riverside County, health officials are saying that so many frontline workers who were prioritized for the shot have been refusing it that it is alarming. Also happening in California, this is what we're learning today. The hospitals are rationing care. So all of this is surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic. The Final Call the Final Call story, which I wrote for this week, it's in our current edition at finalcall.com, features student minister Dr. Ava Muhammad, who is reiterating the warning from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, our publisher: do not take their vaccines and why. So that's the Final Call report. And now we will turn to Pumps on the Ground, featuring the work of the MGT, Muslim women and girls across the country. Tonight we have with us Love Not Blood campaign co-founder Sister Beatrice X, also co-founder of Families United for Justice. We'll be joined later in the show by Sudan Muhammad of Washington, D.C. Her organization is Sudan's Service of Love. Let's bring in now Sister Beatrice. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Beatrice. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum salam, Sister Charlene. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely. You look so beautiful, and thank you for taking time off the front lines to talk to us as well, Sister Sudan. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, ma'am.
Thank you. I like to have you both on because I want you as well with myself to dialogue and bring out questions and some of the intricate details of what you do, because you two are among many of our sisters who are right there in the streets, on the front line, serving our communities, and particularly the women and girls. And I want to start with you, Sister Beatrice, and Sudan. Weigh in as you please, okay? With any question or comment you have for her. But my starting with you, Sister Beatrice, for Pumps on the Ground is because right now we have breaking news coming out of Oakland, California, the Bay Area, around Oscar Grant. Oscar Grant, of course, killed 2009 New Year's Day. Sister Beatrice is going to take us into that and into a petition that a coalition is spearheading right now. So, Sister Beatrice, give us the scoop.
So the breaking news is that we are demanding that District Attorney Nancy O'Malley charge Officer Anthony Tony Peroni with felony murder. He should have been charged 12 years ago. So I'll just give a little backdrop. So the DA said that 11 years ago, when we were beginning to go to court in Los Angeles, that he would charge him, but right now he wanted to use him as a witness. Well, he never became a witness for them. He was hostile. So he said that after the trial, then we'll come back and, we'll get him, right? So after the sentencing, we went to the district attorney's office and we sat with her and we said, okay, it's time to get Tony Peroni. He should be charged because it was because of him that Oscar was murdered, really. And so this district attorney told us that because the case was moved to Los Angeles and that there was a lot of money spent, that they did not have the finances to charge him at that time.
Wow.
Well, we were very disappointed. But what happened is we didn't know. We knew in theory because we were in the courtroom every day and the eyewitnesses shared, but we didn't have on paper what we really knew. And so we'll fast forward to 2017 and 18 as we lobbied with Senator Skinner for SB 1421, which is a law that says that when the police does something to you, that the family has a right to get the paperwork, check on their background, to see where they've been, how many cases they had. So we actually, California Families United for Justice, co-sponsored that bill with Senator Skinner. And so it came into law in 2019. So in 2019, Uncle Bobby, who is the uncle of Oscar Grant, filed that paper. Matter of fact, we brought over about 18 families to the law office of John Burris on January the 4th of 2019, as soon as it came into law, so that families could get the information. Well, we got the information back. And in that information is a report that was done by Myers Nave, which some of the report we knew of, but we didn't know the depth of the report. But because of that law, we were able to get the whole report. And in that whole report, it said that he was the reason why Oscar was murdered. Mm-hmm. And so as we began to start thinking about how we could get this officer charged, as we were organizing, Minister Rashidullah out of San Francisco, Abdul Rashidullah Muhammad, and Minister Sabur Muhammad gave us a call and talked to us about inspiration that Minister Rashidullah had about this case and getting this man charged. So even though we were already working, we conceded because we in the nation, right? So we want to work with the nation first and foremost, right? So we conceded, and then we started a coalition Justice for Oscar Grant, and we've been working ever since. We have this petition right now. We had a press conference. Let me tell you how they work. We had a press conference, and while we was having our press conference, before we could finish, the DA comes out and say, "Oh, I will open the case." Because our first press conference was demanding she open it. While we was having our press conference, she had to put her little thing in it. So she don't call us. She sends a tweet out while we're having the press conference and says, "Oh, I'm gonna open the case." So then when she opened the case, she just opened Pandora's boxes. We will not stop. Now that you opened it, you need to charge him. So now we're on a demand to get this officer charged, arrested, convicted, and sent to prison for the murder of Oscar Grant on murder felony charges. We have a petition. You could go to Oscar Grant, justiceforoscargrant.com, and fill out that petition. And when you do, please pass it on. And I can tell you that today was a horrible day in policing with the Jacob Blake family, and it was horrible with Tamir Rice. So we really had to collectively come together so we can hold police accountable. If we can get this officer, and we will get this officer charged, in hopes that we can inspire our communities and families all over the country to go back. There is no statutory on murder. So if they did it 20 years ago, they deserve to be charged. And so this is not a new fight. This is a continued fight in the Justice for Oscar Grant movement. So please go to the justiceforoscargrant.com, sign the petition, please pass the petition, please pass the petition.
Thank you. And of course, the officer that was charged is Johannes Measurely. Let's have a little bit of background as, let them know how much time did he serve, and do you have a status on him now? But we know that case, that trial was moved to LA because Oakland rose up real heavily after the murder.
12 to 11 years. Yes, 12 to 11 years. And Johannes Measurely, who pulled the trigger, and he was only on the platform 2 minutes and 11 seconds. It was Tony Peroni who created that whole atmosphere. Johannes Measurely came into his atmosphere and his energy of racism, bullying, abuse, And in 2 minutes and 11 seconds, he had pulled the trigger and he had murdered Oscar Grant. We went to court. Yes, we traveled to Los Angeles. We was in the courtroom, and Sister Charlene will bear me witness with the racist Judge Robert Perry. He was racist. That whole atmosphere was so wrong and unfair for us to even endure. At times, it felt like we was on a plantation and still in slavery to sit there and endure that. But the jury came back. The jury came back with a involuntary manslaughter with a gun enhancement. We did not like it, but the gun enhancement would have gave him 10 years automatically. And so we was like, okay, with 10 years and the involuntary, maybe 12 or 14 years, something is better than nothing. But this racist Judge Robert Perry, who treated him and acted as a godfather to this killer, he decided that he would take the gun enhancement off. He said he made an error in the instructions, even though that same thing that he used to say he made an error, it was actually an argument about 3 months before between the defense and the public, in the DA's office, saying that was going to be a problem. And he said, oh, no, it won't be no problem. That's what he said.
He said, we'll handle it later.
After 45 minutes of arguing about it, then he said, oh, no, that won't be a problem. When they come back up, it won't be a problem. So he really set it up, but he took the gun enhancement off, and he gave this man 2 days of good time for every day served, which came down to 11 months. So he did not spend 1 day in prison. And let me tell you, the district attorney of Oakland, California, they agreed with that. And I just shared, they agreed with that. They try to say it was not, no, it's in your hands. You went and had a private meeting and you agreed to that. So he only served 11 months in LA County Jail, we think. Okay.
No one really was able to know about that. And it was a slap on the wrist. Thank you for elaborating on that as we get ready to take our first break. And we're going to come back. And Sister Sudan, when we come back from the break, we will get your sentiment, any take you want to weigh in on what you've heard and jump into what you do. And we're just going to keep the dialogue rolling. But it was a slap on the wrist. He did. They argued that heavily. Sister Beatrice, you're right. I bear witness. I saw the killer's family treated with kid gloves and coddled, and I saw the victim's family and the supporters of the victim's family harassed, snarled at. The mother, Wanda herself, and Uncle Bobby, his uncle, disallowed in court after maybe a few seconds to a minute late. But the trial being moved to Los Angeles was a problem in the first place. However, LA does have a hardcore activist base that rose up, and they were there every day.
Yes, they were.
Still there every day. And so that was really, really key. Before we get to the break, I want you to, again, give us the information on how people can find the petition. Give the website.
You can go to justiceforoscargrant.com and sign the petition and pass the petition, and please pass the petition. And we are saying that and repeating that, but our people, come on, people, we got to start rising. We got to move out on them first instructions. We have signatures, but we really should have more if everybody signed the petition and passed the petition. Because this is not just justice for Oscar Grant, it's justice for all. And you do not want to wait till you get the call or it's your son or your daughter that's murdered by the police, and then you want everybody to rally around you. Do your part now so we don't even have to do this. We must hold police accountable, and this is a step in holding police accountable. Because if we can go back 12 years, we can go back 20 years, and we can go back 5 years, and we can go back 6 years and get all of them, because they all should be held accountable for murder.
Thank you, Sister Beatrice. Finalcall.com for continued coverage throughout the years of the Oscar Grant, Justice for Oscar Grant movement, the updates. And right now, we're going to take a break. We'll come back with Sudan Muhammad of Sudan Service of Love, as well as Beatrice X of Love Not Blood campaign. Me, of course, Sister Charlene Muhammad of Pumps Not Pumps on the Ground. Thank you for tuning in to NNV News. We'll be right back.
Greetings. This is Tarika Shakir Muhammad with National Network View. This week's Final Call cover story reads, Respect and Protect the Black Woman. On the freezing night of February 21st, 2019, Chicago police raid the home of Anjanette Young, leaving her nude and handcuffed after smashing down her door. Protesters gathered at police headquarters with intense anger and demand justice. The outrage and pain runs deep after another incident of foul play by police on a Black woman. To read more, subscribe to finalcalldigital.com. And thank you for tuning in to NNV News. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below, follow us on social media, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, NNV News. This is Tarika Shakir Muhammad with NNVnews.com.
Be a part of the force that powers truth in journalism. Your support helps to combat false media. Cash App, NNV News.
That is what it is all about. Pumps on the Ground. The work of the FOI, the Fruit of Islam, the MGT, the Muslim Girls in Training, the women and the girls of Islam in the Nation of Islam who go out with the final call every week. This show is a salute to them. It is an honor to be a part of the great team. And Sister Tarika Shakir's report is fabulous. Finalcall.com, finalcalldigital.com. We also have Final Call Radio where you can subscribe. So look, we're going to bring in Sister Sudan Muhammad right now, as well as Sister Beatrice back to talk about what Sister Sudan loves. Because when we hear about Anjanette, right, and what happened to Anjanette Young in Chicago under a Black mayor, and let's not mistake this. She is the mayor now, but she was aware that this had happened. The reports are coming out. It's in the Final Call newspaper, how this was kind of buried. And so people want some answers. But those who serve people like Miss Young are right here. Sister Beatrice with the mothers and the families, the girlfriends, the wives of those who are killed in police violence. But Sister Sudan as well, going out to clothe, feed, and whenever she can, and her family shelter women and girls. Sister Sudan, thanks for joining us on the show. Assalamu alaikum again.
Walaikum assalam, ma'am. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So I saw you nodding when Sister Beatrice was talking. Is there anything you want to add to what she was saying, or any question or concern before we jump into your groundwork?
Sister, you have really touched me because there's a sister that she's a good friend of mine. And she's been on the police department for about 30 years. And I really don't want to say too much because she shares a lot of private things with me.
That's right.
But she tells me a lot. Recently, there was a brother in Eastover Shopping Center where this police officer in broad daylight in front of children drugged this man across the parking lot. You see that a lot. I see a lot of police brutality in my community. And it's like, this is swept under the rug. I believe it was 2 years ago that a police officer had shot a man to death in Temple Hills, not too far where we live. And a man was handcuffed in the back of the patrol car, and he shot this man to death. The family was given, I believe it was semi-$1 million. I think it was 10 million or something like that. But cases like this is so prevalent in our community. It's really ridiculous. So it touched me to even hear stories like that. It just, by the grace of God, there go I. It could be any one of us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for adding that. And I know that's the same sentiment that you take out, Sister Sudan. I mean, like, you go above and beyond. So how did you get into going out with meals and with clothes? How did you get into your ministry?
Well, I want to say 22 years ago, my husband and I we used to live in Rivertown in this apartment complex. And I saw so much. And it's like our condition is normalized. Like you see a mother on crack and the children out there. So you just sit and condemn her, not go to the root of the problem, but you'll talk about a woman who's in that condition. And my husband really helped me to see things. I mean, and Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, when he went into the greatest minds being on crack, or the ones who are in jail or dead, the greatest minds. So me understanding that, and I thank Allah for the study guide, self-improvement, the basis for community development.
Alhamdulillah.
Reading that, it just made it just we came to life. So my husband and I started in our community with mothers who were on crack. I remember my husband approached these guys and told them, look, I'm gonna tell you something. You better not sell her crack anymore. I'm telling y'all, you better not sell her crack anymore because I'ma deal with you. So now him doing that, my husband and I started taking children in. So we had people living with us.
That's beautiful.
This sister, she was on crack, and she studied me and my children. And she asked me one time, she said, Miss Muhammad, I'm going to the store. I'll be right back. Is it okay if my daughter comes to the house? I had my daughter Indigo was young, so they were around the same age. So I said, okay, it's fine. This woman came back 7 months later.
So I could do that.
7 months later. I never called the police. I never
That's
checked
right.
anything.
Queen. Yes.
Then she did it again. She got herself clean. She did it again. This time she left me with 2 children. Another lady who had this problem, who was on drugs, may Allah be pleased with her because she's no longer here, but she left her daughter with me. And her daughter at the time was 11. She weighed 211 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
She was depressed, and her mom she was really strung out. So I decided, because the girl was so beat down from people teasing her, this girl, life had beat this baby up so bad. I took her out of school. I started to homeschool her with my daughter. The neighbors had called the police on me because they thought that I didn't have the right to have this girl in my house, and I homeschooled her. Well, when they called the police and social services, I let them in, and I had Lolita to recite student enrollment and actual facts. And a lot of them,
Come on.
police heard her. They said, can you homeschool me? They left me alone. They said, if you need anything, we will help you. So that was the beginning in 1998. And just seeing a need. My husband and I were blessed to send my daughter to learn how to play the piano and harp. It wasn't enough that she was able to do these things. We went to the library and asked if we could teach the other children. Because here you are in our community, in the neighborhood, in the library. Why is the police officer walking around with a Glock 9, a baton, mace, pepper spray, all this stuff in the library?
Yeah.
So I just saw the need, and I'm just so grateful. I'll say it again, the study guide gave all of us a post assignment. The study guide freed the slaves.
Ooh.
The study guide freed us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So from there, and I'm just, my daughter was blessed. She, by trade, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. My daughter does hair much better than myself. I went to school for it. She started in the community teaching other girls who were prostituting. See, human trafficking in the DMV, it's bad.
Wow.
In the DMV, human trafficking is bad. These Caucasian males will come from DC to the Maryland side where we are. And I have done videos where I interviewed a lot of the young brothers who said they're being approached by men in our community that would just come and you walking around, Caucasian men walking around with young boys. You don't have a basketball team or football team. Why are you walking with these boys who you can see they're clearly gay? They have been manipulated because there's really no jobs here. And I talk about these things, and I've shown videos where I'm showing signs. Look, clear as day in our community, you have signs where you are asking, you're trying to get people into prostitution. You can make this X amount of dollars. Clear as day in our community.
What?
clear as day, sister, in our community. There are signs up. There are signs. I have shown videos, signs saying if you want to at certain clubs, if you want to trick, um, strip, bare feet. I don't know if you're familiar with bare feet because there are were it was a few stores in my community that catered to women who were prostitutes or was in their lifestyle. So I was talking to some of the girls, and a lot of young women got into the lifestyle because it's normalized. Look
Yeah.
at the condition. No one is talking to them saying, baby, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And if you are doing it, it's okay.
It's normalized on TV. You're right. It's the whole jokes and making it rain. And I want to go, Sudan, thank you for your work. You know, I want to go back to something else you mentioned, which was about crack. You know, that too. And I've been guilty. I'll start right here of making before I knew better, you know, a joke about a crackhead. You know, but when we can recall when that was poured into our neighborhood, how our neighborhood just changed from bright, sunny places, even though they were many concrete jungles, but the sun left and dilapidated buildings and just gray areas, everything came. So I really, what's your website or what's your link so people can go and see some of the footage of what you do? And I'll ask you the same too, Sister Beatrice, but give us your Twitter handle or if you have a Facebook page, let us know where people can see some of that.
Actually, is my Facebook page is Sudan Tahisha Muhammad. Also on Instagram is Sudan Tahisha Muhammad and Twitter. But I have to show videos because a lot of people don't want to believe it. They can't believe it.
Yeah.
Come on.
We can't denial. Let's just call it
Yes.
denial.
Yes.
You know, so you two can tell me as we get ready for the next break if you've experienced this. You know, a lot of can't believe it is if I look at it, address it, and accept it, I'm gonna have to do something about it. And sometimes people run from that. I've observed that a little bit, but what has been your experience? You, Sudan, and then tell me, Beatrice, and we're gonna hit a break.
You know, my experience is this. I'm tired of hearing people say they out there because they want to be. Are you crazy? Try living in the DMV. It's so expensive. You need 6 incomes just to make it out here.
Did you say
I mean, it's no joke. It's really tough. So it's like they choose to be out here, or here. I mean, it's just it makes me angry because if you understand when you start talking to people and you understand how destroyed we are, how low our esteem is. I will ask people, what would you like to eat? Whatever you fix. I didn't ask you that. I asked you, what do you want?
Yeah.
Tell me what you want to eat.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. I just want to leave it there. Just put a pin in that. We'll come back. You see, Beatrice, you got it going. I got the same spirit, but we'll come right back. Just hold that thought.
Yes, ma'am.
Pumps on the ground. We're highlighting the work of the MGT tonight. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. We'll be back.
National Network View was recently banned from the media platform YouTube.com. Within 12 hours, the NNV IT department quickly sprung into action with the independent service system to back NNVnews.com. The nation's news network is now streaming content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As we extend gratitude for the believers' financial support through donations, this media activism will not stop. Please continue to be a part of a force that powers truth in journalism. Your support helps to combat false media. Donate to NNV News. This is Clifton Muhammad with National Network View.
What does Dr. Ryan say? Can't stop God's truth. We're back, Sister Charlene Muhammad. That's right. Please support NNV News. Let's bring back Sister Sudan and Sister Beatrice. Beatrice, okay, Sudan, finish your point because Beatrice was rocking. I want to know what's got her going.
Let's just be it. Because I'm so full when especially with dealing with Black women. And I just want to say, when COVID first hit and they closed the shelters down in DC, they threw a lot of people out. They threw them out in the street.
Wow.
So I noticed there were a lot of pregnant sisters on the street. So unsheltered homelessness is huge. All through the highways in DC, you see people living under the underpass. Just in the neighborhood, tents are everywhere. Women in their 70s out in tents. It's so bad, sister, with the women that's homeless, that's being raped. I had to bring a brother out who was he was a fourth degree martial artist to teach our sisters self-defense because the women were going to jail for defending themselves. And not just that, being in DC, being such a political town, a lot of the women who have been raped, the homeless women, they said people who are in positions of authority have came and got.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. We got to have her bring that back when she reconnects. Beatrice, she blowing my mind right now.
Right. I just want to say, I wanted to salute the sister.
Oh, my God.
Love her. I love her for her work. I love her for her patience and doing this work. Just a little story. I kind of do that, but I can't do both because I do go out in the community and we do feed the homeless. I have a sister over here, and I found me somebody Black in San Jose because I feed my people, but we go to Oakland to feed our people. But I did connect just now, and I've been here a while, with some Black people who are homeless here so I can help them here. But just imagine that that's her work all the time.
Right.
And it's so beautiful because, I grew up I was 18, I was 20, that was our era when they dropped that crack in, when we was just going to college. And the one thing that we failed as a community is that we did not get our nieces and nephews. We did not get our sisters and brothers' children. We did not get our cousins' children. We fell for the narrative of the white man who called us crackheads and that we were criminals for being subjected to that which they put in our community. And as you see now, when their children is dying from opium, now it's a problem. But
the opioid crisis is
right. It's a problem, and they just got a problem. But it's no difference, except for you deliberately put that in our community. But we failed because we didn't have the compassion and love that we needed for our own people.
I want to add something to that. And here's Sister Sudan.
Great. I salute you, sister. And thank you so much.
This quick
I love you. And thank you for the work you're doing.
Yeah, quick point, and I want to come and let you finish with that. I know it's so much, but Sister Beatrice, I do want to say that point of clarification from my observation, our mothers, the grandmothers did step in, because one of the things I reported on heavily for the final call was how unfair it was. Mothers of those who were victimized by crack they had rears, they reared their children and they took in their children's children, but that was love, and that's just what we do as our culture, But what
notice I didn't say mothers and grandmothers.
I know that's right, but I just wanted to really put that in for anyone, because when the thought crossed my mind, it may cross the viewer's mind. I want to just salute the grandmothers and the aunties and those that did, because this crack epidemic, this conspiracy, this diabolical scheme, what it did was it fed the prison industrial complex. The numbers increased there, the numbers in different psych wards all over the place. Just like with homelessness, this system feeds off of what ails us, and a lot of the ailments are by design. But yes, thank you, Sister Beatrice, for pointing that out. And we still need to do that more. Because what are we supposed to do? Just let each other rot on the street? But Sudan, you were to the point that you were blowing my mind. You were talking about the 4th degree brother that you got to go down there and help before you went out. Pick that up.
I had to bring him down because the sisters were being raped and nobody doing anything about it. Because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said July 4th, he said he went into the mind of Satan and how you come into that mind when you think you're better than somebody. So when you think somebody's dirty, they're not clean, they don't have anywhere to go. And in DC, see, I'm from Philadelphia. There's a bougie mindset up here. I work for the government. I'm in these big, beautiful, nice homes. So they look down on people. And I don't like that.
That's right.
That's why I became the fearless, unapologetic reporter, because I'll put you in your place. You're not going to treat it like that. Not while I'm standing here. Because when this woman cleans herself up, you don't know who she's going to be tomorrow. You don't know who she's going to be tomorrow. So it's just that that mindset, and our sisters are so destroyed. Where I've talked to women who were just raped, and I would tell them, I will go with you to the police department. I will go with you to the hospital. And they so destroyed. They say it's my fault. Nobody's going to believe me. Oh my God. We are so destroyed, psychologically damaged, that some of us are just giving up.
Yeah.
I see women out there on the street. This summer, there was 2 pregnant women that I befriended. And because of COVID, and they put them out, I asked them, well, who's out here? They said, nobody's serving but you. So I put a campaign out. I need 3,000 bottles of water.
Wow.
Because a lot of people didn't want to catch. So me, Brother Frank, believers, friends, people in the community, we put stuff together. And I'll go out, I'll make sure they have the bottle. I had to learn how to serve.
Sudan,
I'm sorry.
What is your Cash App, sister? We need to send you some aid right now. That is not just on you. And what I'm getting ready to hit you up. What is your Cash App, please, so we can put that out?
Yes, ma'am. It's the money sign Sudan Muhammad.
What is it? I'm sorry.
It's the money sign Sudan Muhammad.
Money sign SUDAN Muhammad, MUHAMMAD. Do you have a physical address where people can send products or services that you're getting ready to tell us that you give to the sisters and the children out there?
Sister, I want to say this to you now, because of this unsheltered homeless problem, which they don't care. We've been bringing tents. We've been buying tents.
So some people may have a tent connection, or is it just the cash you will do right now?
Well, we need the cash for the food. If I have a tent connection, give it to me. We need blankets. We need everything.
Okay.
They are literally, people are dying on the street. I bring coolers out because a lot of people will put the water in big coolers, and this is how some of them are bathing. Some of them do not like going into the shelters. One brother, we did a video, he showed his back of all the bed bugs, the bites on his back, because in the largest shelter downtown in DC has a major bed bug problem. I've seen people, when I come in there and serve, I've seen the people that work in the shelter are homeless and mentally ill themselves. So I've seen people get thrown down the steps. I've seen men beat up women in the shelter. The lack of love is missing in our community.
That's right.
And the lack of love is missing.
Sister, you have a big heart, and I'm so glad that you, your husband, your children, your family are there. And by the way, congratulations on the beautiful weddings, the newlyweds, your daughters and your new sons. We're very proud of them, and we pray for you and for them, their budding marriages. Sudan, we got to help. I mean, you just like Love Not Blood, Sister Beatrice, I want yours too. Please let us know what your Cash App is, because the people you serve are rarely, if at all, served by anybody. I'm a witness bearer to that. It's a struggle. So Beatrice, what is your Cash App as well?
Well, my Cash App is $Beachy X Keaton, Keeton. However, you can go to www.lovenotbloodcampaign.com and you can reach us there and donate. But I just want to say that what the sister is saying, that I just want to say to all the highfalutin folks, by the grace of God, there go you. You see them tents or I. That's what I'm saying. But every time I see that, anything can change for us in the twinkling in the eye. Allah may use that for a trial for you and your family. You don't know. So the work that you're doing, and I can say in California, we have a problem. I mean, if you come here, wow, we have a really serious problem. We do what we can, even though we're in this fight for justice, for police accountability. We still have to help our community because we still driving by our people, seeing them in the condition that they're in. So we do have drives periodically to help our family and our people in these communities. And we really feed every week. That famous bean soup, you can't go wrong with that bean soup, you know. And so we just go out and do bean soup or whatever people give us that we give. But that fight to keep our people with the basic necessaries. Oh my God, the basic necessaries. And so yes.
Give your info again. Give it again.
Oh, I want www.lovenotbloodcampaign.org or $BGX Keaton. And I also want to talk about this signature. Please get your network. And just everybody, let's just get your network. Get 5,000 signatures on your own. I know you know 5,000 people. Get 500. Get 300. Let's get this petition signed. You can go to the justiceforoscargrantmovement.com, sign this petition, and then send it to someone, and then text them back and see if they signed it. We have to get this done. We got so many fights on so many levels. There's so much work for us all. No one should not be working, especially under the divine leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We should all be working. We should, in the community, we should be more than Jamaicans. We should have more than 3 jobs.
There's a lot. There's a lot to do. And look. We know it is the pandemic, and we are under the divine order.
That's right. That's right.
For the exceptions, which are the essential needs, the services, you're going to work. But if you're not able to go, some people they can't go physically, but some people can't go. If you know what I'm saying, everybody interface with our people.
Right.
Because hey, everybody don't need to be talking to the people, but because we have to have proper handling of people. But you can support organizations that do, or you can join on and go with those that do. But you can quietly send a donation.
Right.
Support the Nation of Islam. Go to NOI.org. NOI.org. Send the links from Student Minister Ishmael or Minister Farrakhan or the different ministers who are coming, which is, by the way, Student Minister Dr. Wesley Muhammad is coming with it on the COVID vaccine this week. We have Minister Ava's Laws of God, Part 1 and 2. We have Beatrice Muhammad and the research team, the research minister. So much information. Just, you can get the truth in the word. You can get the donations like the 10,000 Fearless, which is featured in the final call this week. Student Minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad, the Southern Region Minister, regional representative, and the 10,000 Fearless is doing work. These sisters, there's a lot of people. If we start to call the roll, but you can also go out yourself, buy a pair of socks. I understand that socks are a number one need, according to some reports. I get from shelters. You can get blankets. Just drop it off. You don't even have to do it for the applause. A lot of people don't. I'm not saying you do. Just do it quietly, do it loudly. Do, but get the goods to the people. And as Sudan mentioned, Beatrice mentioned too, extend a hand, but meet them where they are,
Right.
and we cannot look down on people. I don't want to sound and seem preachy, but this show, Pumps on the Ground, see, this is the purpose of it, to highlight the work, and hopefully it inspires you to serve. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. How about we could just start in our own family? Let's do it. Let's start in our own family. We have a major emergency in my own house with construction. We had to leave the home. If it wasn't for my sister where I am now, I don't know where I'd be if my sister and brother-in-law hadn't taken us in. So we just look in our own families. Maybe that person that we're not speaking to or got in the last week, but they may need something. But we must serve each other. Go ahead, sisters. I'm the host, not the guest. So
I just wanted to say that you hit it right. We must love. We have to start with loving ourselves by following the instructions of our divine teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and studying and keeping us on our post. I thank God for our student minister, Brother Abdul Sabur Muhammad, who, since we have a community call every Friday, you should join us. And that has kept us solid in Oakland, that we can come and talk with our community, as well as our study group and the mosque on Sunday, to keep us together so we can keep our sanity. Because that's the main thing right now, is for us to keep our sanity, to keep our Islam, and to keep our faith. And if we work on those things, we will be able to go out and touch those who we come in contact with at a social distance, right? And we will be able to help and impact them, even just with a smile. We change lives when we are embodied with all the tools that Master Farad Muhammad came and gave to us.
Yeah. As we go to Sudan as well to add, and thank you for that, Sister Beatrice, I want to make a point about an observation I've been having about the going into our chambers and sheltering in place according to the divine guidance and instruction, life-saving.
Life-saving.
And that's what makes what you and sisters like you and the FOI who go out with the paper and the mask and the books, so precious. It's like when the fruit are out, bringing the paper is enough, but their presence, as someone called me today, shared, is just, she felt safe just knowing that one FOI is in the vicinity, but some. So, but I wanted to just mention that this work is really crucial, and we really can't let it up. And the divine instructions from the minister, it's not just the pandemic in terms of the virus, but it's the atmosphere, it's the particles in the air, it's all of what's airborne, the toxins, but it's the energy and the spirit that I'm observing. I was at the bank the other day. A fight almost broke out in the line at the bank. Someone disrespected an elder, and a young person in front of me got in between and checked that, but then he couldn't catch his cool. The guard at the door wasn't even paying attention. His back was to the door. He was looking inside the bank where there were only two people. And when I came out, the elder that was disrespected had called the sheriff. So there were 5 sheriffs on scene. Beatrice, how that could have played out. But the tension was so high because the bank lines my bank had a double line going around each corner. Other banks had the same line. So people are impatient. People are driving very horribly. There's road rage. All of this is why we need to be in that chamber. But back to you two for the balance of the show.
Sister Sudan.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, I was just waiting to hear from you.
Talking about the service. I just made a point about the importance of hearing and obeying what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given us, and how the virus, this whole pandemic and sheltering, as we serve the people, as you two are doing, it's not just a disease, but it's the whole climate of and of violence. And then you're talking about rape of a 70-year-old. Sister, what's happening with that? I'm sorry, did you tell us what the black belt is? What's going on?
He came out and he gave some instructions, and some of these women, not only he taught them how to break somebody's arm. He had to just big things because they're not getting the help that they need. One sister went to jail.
I said,
trying to defend herself. Who would want to rape a 79-year-old woman? I don't understand for the life of me. But I want to share this with you that I've learned from every encampment. You have what you would call a mayor of that encampment, and it's always a black man. And some of the black men who are out there, I'm so grateful to Allah that they are protectors of the women who are in that condition. And then, sister, one time we had to bring out, oh my God, it's just so bad with the rat problem that they have to sleep there sometimes because there's so many rats that's coming in. Because of the hotels and the restaurants are closed in DC. And some of the people may have food inside their tent. They said the rats are trying to get in and the squirrels. So sometimes I have to bring rat poison or mothballs to place inside. So I started studying, I think it was, I forgot what university did an experiment. They did an experiment with people who are living in infested areas with rodents. And they said psychologically what that did to those people, how it really caused mental illness, that they couldn't even sleep in a condition like that. So I can imagine on top of all that, you're dealing with rodents and rats, and DC has a rat problem like they have in New York City.
Ooh, some big ones.
I'm talking about some big ones that look like puppies. It was just like the said, there's so many problems that we have. I just hate to see an elder living out their last days.
Yeah.
Living like that. You know, and what can I do? You need a tent. Okay, you need a bed. We've been buying little blower beds. You can get them in Walmart. And the pumps, just so they can have I can't offer you a place, but if I can make your life a little bit comfortable, and the people are so grateful.
Thank you.
When I ask them, what do you want? If they say they want some fried chicken, you want to get some fried chicken. So stop getting mad at me for doing that. We know they can have bean soup too, but you in the street in the cold,
right. Mm-hmm.
And that's a pleasure moment.
Right.
That's a moment of pleasure.
It beats a bag of chips. You know, a lot of our people will get on Skid Row. DJ General Jeff, the mayor of Skid Row here, as he's dubbed, you know, talked about the evolution, and he and others are working themselves who are on Skid Row to feed people better food, not just the starches that are easier to prepare or potato chips and different sugary drinks. We see a lot of that changing. And Skid Row, as you both were talking about, how Beatrice, you said in Oakland, how it's expanding, and you too, Sudan. Here, Skid Row was 50 plus blocks that they had cordoned people off into, but it's going all the way down in different suburbs. There are 10 cities, and here they're mandating that people can't sleep under the freeways anymore. But it's all across the country. Remember from the Fugees, Brother Prize, Hill and Brother Wyclef Prize went underground. He went undercover. It's in the Final Call newspaper. He came and went underground on Skid Row. He talked about the gigantic rats that were in his tent, and he couldn't blow his cover. And he was very upset. And he talked about being on the corner and people just upset. Like he was incensed that he almost blew his cover because of the way people were treating him. Here's a millionaire rapper, you know, very famous. But that was an experience you made me think about. Go ahead, Beatrice.
I just wanted to share that even in all of that, what I have found is that spirituality right now is a powerful tool. And I say that because we go and we pass out the final calls, just like the brothers in Oakland. We're in San Jose, but the brothers in Oakland that go out into the community, the love that the community give to them just for getting that paper, they're reading more than they ever read, because of the condition that we're in. And I just want to share that we had a Zoom for Families United for Justice, families coming together before the year ended to give them some word. Minister Support came on, others came on. We had mental health care for them, to go on into this 2021.
Yeah.
And we gave out How to Eat to Live. They were, and I have to send their books. They were excited about that because I can tell you right now, we know this, but at the end of the day, the Nation of Islam is all we got. And I think our people are coming to that reality of paying attention to our divine leader, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, what Master Farah Muhammad brought us, and what our divine teacher continues to teach us is more than 100%, and it's right now. Yeah. And our people are starting to, from my experience and what I'm seeing, and even in my family, one of my family members take me say, I'm listening to the minister. I say, praise be to Allah. But I'm just saying, we just have to keep working on ourselves first. I'm gonna start with me to embody that spirit of our divine leader, teacher, and guide, and do what he says, and just step out the door, and Allah will bless us to do the work that we need to do that day. We all, one person ain't gonna do everything. We all need to come on and do something, so nobody has to do a lot. And I just wanted to point that out, that the spiritual is working right now. It's coming. We just have to keep on. We're touching lives because people are they got no hope. Islam comes when all else fails.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sister Beatrice. And we'll have Sister Sudan. Can you make your closing remarks? And I'm going to close it out and we're going to go.
Don't forget to sign that petition.
Thank you.
That's OscarGrant.com. Sign that petition. That's petition. That's my last word.
Sister Beatrice X Love Not Blood campaign. Sign the petition, justice for OscarGrant.com.
That's right.
So, stay right there, though, Sister Sudan.
I just want to say to people, a lot of the homeless people are, they'll come to me and say, can you tell the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that this is happening? And they always do that because our signature with everything is always a Final Call newspaper. And That's you right. said it. See, it's the love. They know who we represent.
That's right.
It's the love. And in this climate, for somebody to check up on you, in this climate, to see how you doing. You all right? What do you need? What do you want to eat? Man, that's a beautiful thing because I've known even for myself, we really don't check up on each other.
That's right.
I'm going to keep it 100. We don't.
That's right.
We don't check up on each other.
Wow.
We say, do you need anything? See, that love is the energy, is a vibration. It's a frequency. You can feel it. Yeah. And that's what we all see. The time of talk is over. Just let people know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you for allowing me to be on this wonderful show. Thank you so much.
It's for you. You must come back. All praises due to Allah. The show is for you. The show is for those doing the work. And it's for community partners. Let's not forget. It's to highlight the work of the men and the women in the Nation of Islam and their partners, because I know that we do it in conjunction. But it's just time. It's time to salute the FOI and the MDT who are walking in the spirit of Minister Farrakhan. That is the goal of Pumps on the Ground. And please, I ask you to support these two sisters and their organizations and support NNV News. We saw the beautiful commercial, Brother Clifton. The Cash App is there. Spread the show. This is our first show of the new year, and we hope to continue to get better and better. And look, nominate someone to be on the show. Nominate an FY and MGT. And my Cash App is Cash App Pumps on the Ground. if you would like to support as well. So Sister Beatrice, Sister Sudan, thank you so much for being with us. That's our show. Assalamu alaikum. And I'm Dagan. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. See you soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Be a part of the force that powers truth in journalism. Your support helps to combat false media. Cash App NNV News.